The hidden heir. Have you ever lived in a beautiful house that kept one door locked, no matter how many keys you tried? My name is Alina, and this is the night I found the door, the key, and the truth that changed my family forever. Welcome to English Story Haven, where stories teach you English and life. Take a breath and come with me into a world of chandeliers, secrets, and a tiny pendant that glows like a promise. The Beaumont estate stood on the hill like it had always been, their limestone walls, tall windows, a fountain that whispered all day. Inside, mirrors admired themselves and people learned to speak softly. Aunt Seraphine ran Beaumont Atelier, a fashion empire that could turn silence into sales. Her daughter, Cassandra, was 3 years older than me, brilliant, beautiful, and sharp enough to leave a marked dot at breakfast. Silver made small sounds. Alina will tour the Atelier at 11, Seraphine said calmly. Cassandra, the gala rehearsal at 3. Be on time, both of you? I am always on time, Mother, Cassandra answered. Then she looked at me with a smirk. Alina comes with pearls and apologies. Enough, Seraphine cut in, her voice like a conductor's baton. Under my pillow, I kept a photograph of my mother holding me as a baby. I asked about her every year. The answer never changed. She loved you. She could not stay, could not, or was not allowed. That night, rain stitched the windows. I climbed the attic stairs with a small lamp, past trunks labeled with perfect handwriting. In the corner, a canvas-wrapped box with one word across it, Alina. Inside I found letters tied with ribbon, a legal folder, and a pendant, a tiny gold lantern with a diamond ember. On the back, a message engraved in small, stubborn letters, my light, always. The letters were from my mother, Leona Rook. Please, let me see her. I was promised visits. Keep her safe. Tell her I loved her. Tell her I fought. The legal folder said something else. Leona Rook, co-founder of Beaumont Atelier. Later pages reassigned her shares. Guardianship extended. Signatures changed like weather. A floorboard creaked behind me. I turned, heart racing. No one stood there, only the old house, listening. I put the pendant around my neck. The tiny lantern felt warm, as if it remembered Skin Dot the next day at school. The new scholarship transfer sat alone with a borrowed textbook. Cassandra floated past with her friends like a small storm cloud. New boy, learn quickly, she said sharply. Some chairs are not for you. I sat across from him anyway. I'm Alina. I told him. You can sit with me. He looked up with steady eyes and half a smile. I'm Marco. Are you sure you want me ruining your symmetry? I could use the help, I said. He nodded. Who's the queen? Cassandra is the thunder, I explained. My aunt is the weather. And you? He asked. Some days the umbrella, some days the flood. He laughed. Good. Then let me be the guy who refuses to drown. By lunch, he knew my favorite tea. By the end of the week, he knew I carried a photograph everywhere. He never asked for the story before I was ready to tell it. The Beaumont Gala lit the city. A glass runway hovered over a pool, chandeliers dripping light. Cassandra walked first, dressed in silver. I followed in ivory. She took the microphone. On behalf of my mother and our household, welcome. We believe in excellence. That is why we dress for it. Her pause was sharp as a pin. The crowd laughed carefully. When my turn came, I kept my voice calm. Thank you for supporting the ateliers that make this house more than one woman's name. Later that night, Marco found me by the gallery doors with a folder in his hand. Old magazine from the archives, he whispered. Look. The black and white photo showed Seraphine at the first Beaumont runway. Beside her stood a woman with my eyes, wearing a tiny lantern pendant. The caption read, Leona Rook, co-founder. I have this pendant, I whispered. Then we're not imagining it, Marco said. I slid the page into my clutch. The truth pressed against me like a heartbeat. 2 days later, Seraphine announced a partnership with the Valent Group, infamous for devouring smaller houses. We will be stronger together, she said. Or smaller afterward, Cassandra muttered. That night, I found an envelope under my door. The message was typed in block letters. The truth is heavier than silk. Can you carry it? I returned to the attic with Marco. At the bottom of the box we found a draft letter from Serafini. In light of threats against Miss Rook and her child, guardianship will continue. Equity to be revisited when danger passes. Marco looked up. Threats from who? A floorboard groaned. Cassandra stood in the shadows. How touching, she sneered. You found your bedtime story. It's my life, I answered. Mother took you in because she had to. Leona begged, and then Leona left. Because someone threatened her, I shot back. For one heartbeat, Cassandra's mask slipped. She looked less like a villain and more like a girl terrified of being second. Then it hardened again. You'll never prove it. The next show was on a rooftop. Thunder rolled over the city like drums. Midway, the power blinked out. Guests gasped, phones lit, panic spread. Hold the lights on backup, Serafini ordered. Keep the models steady. A glow rose from beneath the glass runway. Someone had to move. I stepped forward into the storm, heels careful, breath slow. A panel shifted beneath me. I wobbled. A steady hand pressed against my back. Marco had left the AV board and reached me in time. I found my balance, walked to the end, turned and returned through lightning and applause. Backstage, Cassandra ripped off a soaked cape. Of course you turned a blackout into your duet, she snapped. Is there anything you won't steal? Enough, Serafini said firmly. Tonight we showed resilience. Let the world write about that. Cassandra's face changed, not anger, but something like fear. We are not enemies unless we decide to be. I told her quietly. You have no idea what you are. She whispered. The truth finally came when Serafini called me to her office. A folder lay on the desk. I know you've been searching, she said. I should have told you sooner. When you were born, a rival house accused Leona of theft. It was a lie. They threatened to ruin her and take you. I had lawyers. They had men who wore laws like gloves. I hid you. I sent her away. She was supposed to return. She never did. I hired a private investigator. These are his notes. The notes circled one word, Valent. You're working with the group that targeted her. I whispered. We needed their power. Serafini admitted. No, I said. We need our truth. Serafini's eyes softened. Help me. Stand with me. And if the truth breaks us, then it will set us right. That was the moment we stopped being guardian and child and started being allies. The press conference shook the city. Cameras filled the Beaumont atrium. Serafini told the truth. Leona Rook was co-founder. She was forced out. Valent's threats were real. We were severing ties. Reporters fired questions. Who inherits the brand now? Serafini looked at me. There is no single heir to courage, she said, but there is a girl who has carried it longer than most. I stepped forward. I am Alina Beaumont. I was raised under a roof of glass. Today I choose a house of light. The internet exploded. Half the world applauded. The other half doubted. Orders dipped, then rose. And for the first time, I wasn't hiding. At night I sat with the pendant, tracing the engraving with my thumb. My light, always. A knock came at my door. Cassandra entered, quieter than ever. I was cruel because I was scared, she said. I know. You're supposed to make me work harder for forgiveness. I'm supposed to help us be better. The rest can be slow. She exhaled. Fine. Come on, in the foyer. Serafini stood with a woman whose face I had carried in a photo for years. My mother, Leona. She lifted her own pendant identical to mine, aged by time. Do I have your eyes? I whispered. And my courage, she said. We held each other the way people hold life back from the edge. Weeks later, the Atelier reopened with a show called The Lantern Line. The runway glowed with golden lanterns. I wore the final dress, deep gold, shimmering like choices. At the end, I bowed my head not to cameras, but to the people who had carried me here. A reporter asked, "What is Beaumont now?" Honest, I said, and strong enough to tell the truth out loud. Cassandra slipped her arm through mine. Serafini laughed like someone who had finally set something heavy down. Marco lowered his camera and simply watched. If you are living in someone's shadow, Remember this: perfect glass breaks quietly, but honest light does not. Wealth can dress you. Power can hire you. Only courage can free you. This is English Story Haven, where stories teach you English and life. If Alina's journey moved you, share this story with someone who needs a light on.